Welcome to today's video. Today's video is a little bit of an extension from a previous video I did, and that was about when my Zoe was caught in floodwater. One of the things I learned when cleaning the car out and taking the interior out was how to remove all the various panels from the Renault Zoe. So if you want to learn about how to take out all the panels and strip a Renault Zoe right the way down, from removing the panels in the boot, to removing the upholstery, to removing the centre dash console, if you want to learn all that, stay tuned to today's video and you'll find out how to disassemble a Renault Zoe. Let's start you off at one of the easiest parts to remove, and we'll start in the boot. There is not really that much to take off this side panel here. This carpet is connected to here, so you don't want to take out any of these really, unless you just want to take the carpet out. But if you want to remove this panel here with this bit of carpet, there's a screw right here, which is the front one. There's a screw behind the front, just so if you lift the seat forward, you'll see another screw. Take those two screws out. That bit's easy. And then down here there is basically a big plastic bung that you can just screw off. Once that's off, it's just a little bit of a meaning of sort of like pulling it away and prizing it away, and that's it. That comes off straight away. Same repeat on the other side. Two screws, a little bung at the bottom, pull it away, and that's it, and that will expose all that. The only reason really you'd ever have to get rid of any of that stuff is if you want to access some of the radios or little bits behind there like the aerial and other control unit. I'm in the back of the car just to show you how to remove this part of the seat, so the bit that folds forward. In the ZE40 new editions they are split fold like this one, that's why this one's still back. In the 22 it's one whole seat. So on the 22 you just basically fold both parts forward like this, and then down here there is a latch like that, and you just need to basically push it backwards with a screwdriver. Exactly the same on the 40 kilowatt. You do them both on both sides. The left large section will come out completely, and the smaller one you just need to sort of twist out and lift out. But on the 22 you just literally lift the whole seat out and that's out. Now that can be very useful if you want extra storage in the back of your Zoe and you're going to basically take a lot of stuff away. The next panel in the back that you can take off is this bottom seat section. Now, do not remove this unless it's absolutely necessary that you have to get the bottom of the carpet out. So if you need to take the interior out like I did on my Zoe, so basically the skin, the floor skin, then you need to take these out. Otherwise, never take these out. Every time you take them out, you will break the clips. You cannot take these out without breaking the clips. I was as delicate as possible. It breaks the clips every single time, and you'll need to buy a pack of 3 of them if you do break them. So if you are planning on taking this out, pre-order the clips. This is probably the worst angle I've ever had to film in, but it's very easy to show you these panels here. So these are the plastic trim panels that sit on the outside of all the bits, which are these bits here. Now to access this one you would have to fold down this seat, which I'll do, and easiest way of taking it out, you want to pull this rubber trim out first. So just lift that, lifts out, it unclips from on here. The best thing to do if you're going to take this out and you're basically just going to put it in, just take it up to about where you're taking the trim off. Don't take it out all the way at the top of the roof lining unless you are taking the roof lining out as well. It's just easier to work out which way the seal went if part of it stays remained in. So just lift it out like that, and then to clip it back in you can just follow the line of where it was unclipped. But lift that out, and then these plastic panels here, the ones which are you can't really see from this angle, but I'll get some B-roll for it, you just pull. You just give them a good yank. There's clips on there. Now some of them are metal clips. These metal clips will not break, and some of them are not metal clips, they are plastic clips, and they can break. There's only a couple of them, so it is useful to pre-order them, have them ready for when you're taking the panels off, and then you've got them if they do snap. So again, all this plastic, again, it's all just clipped in, just give it a good yank. However, when you get to here, the bonnet, where the bonnet catch is, you just need to wiggle out the catch. It is just pushed in, so if you give it a wiggle, which I am trying to, probably doesn't help. I'm in not the best angle for doing this, but yeah, it does come out. It will come out if you take the panel out as well. It will come with it. So if you are struggling to wiggle this off, then when you take this plastic panel off here with this plastic panel, it will just pop out. But that just literally pops out, and then later on it can be pushed back in. Now, a big tip, if you are taking both left and right side out of the car, make sure you label them either with some little bits of tape, or just basically arrange them in a room so you know which way they're going back on. Make sure none of the metal clips come out of their holders when they come out, because a couple of mine did and you have to just push them back in. but it's very easy to lift all this bit out. The next is the center console here. It's a pretty easy bit to take out, but it takes a little bit of patience. Now the first bit is this bit here. Dead easy, comes out straight away. That is the bit where your key slot is. Make sure you save that to the side. Then your next bits out are all pull, so you've got to pull them out. So this bit here pulls out. Now I have got some footage of it disassembled when I did the actual my car, so I will play that. So some of this might be slightly repeated, but I'll try and edit as much out as I can. But basically you pull this bit out. This here is where your eco button is and your gear shifter sits. It's clipped on, just give it a good yank, but be careful because you've got your SD readers here and your cigarette lighters, so when you yank this out you need to unclip all the clips behind it. So yank it, there's a bit of give in the wire so you don't snap them, but just be careful that you don't yank them and carry on pulling it, because you do have to unclip these clips here and pull the clip out there, so that comes out, and the clip for that, and also the OBD port also needs to be unclipped out so you can lift that out. Once that's out, there is 2 screws at the front of here which need to be taken out, two torque screws, and then there is 2 screws at the back of here which need to be taken out. Once they're out, the handbrake section will lift out. Now there is also underneath the handbrake a panel that can be taken out very easily, but not today. But yes, there is a panel here that literally just comes out. It will pull out. It's a little tray, there we go, little tray section. That just lifts out. That just gives you a little bit of leverage to pull that back section up, so you don't break anything. But again, this is all just clipped on again, apart from the 2 screws at the back and the 2 screws at the front, and then it just lifts out. Once that's out, you're going to have to wiggle it around the handbrake, but you can get the, not handbrake, sorry, the gear stick, but you can get the gear stick out very easily. Now, if the gear stick is in the way and you can't get it out, when you lift this gear gator up, behind that gear gator is there's a little switch which will allow you to move this from park, neutral, drive, etc. without the ignition being on, and if you disconnect the 12-volt battery. So if you press that down, you can move this backwards, so you can maneuver it to lift out and wiggle around the panels, so you don't have to take the head off the ZE, you know, the basically the traction part of this head. So you can wiggle it through and get all this panel out. Once all that's out, you can then think about taking the center skin out. Now the center skin is held in with 2 tiny clips underneath the passenger seat and underneath the driver's seat, and you just basically need to get a clip remover, lift it underneath and then pull it out from underneath, and then that is literally the skin of the whole Zoe. Once you've got all the side panels out, you've got the rear seats out, you can literally just take that entire skin out. So if you were doing this to fit sound deadening to the Renault Zoe, that is exactly what you're going to do. You're going to have to buy the clips for the rear seats, clip all the side panels out, take this out, and you can just take the whole skin out and you can fit some nice cushioned sound deadening on the floor of the Zoe. It's quite an easy job. In fact, it was easier than I thought it would be. This here is the skin, the fabric which is in your Zoe. If you're going to take the whole interior out, you're going to have to take out this bit section here. This is where the main traction fuse is located. This is on clips. You just pull it out and unclip it. I'm not going to do it today. The reason I'm not going to do it is I haven't got any spare clips, and if I take these clips out, I will break them, guaranteed. 100% I will break them. You don't normally break them when you take them out, but Sod's Law says I will break them, and I've not got any spare clips. But yeah, you just give that a yank, pull it out, and that will loosen all this material after you took the 2 clips out that are underneath the seat, and then you can just take that skin out. I'd just like to say a very, very quick thank you to my patrons, Leo Clarke, Benedikt Klees, Darren Sant, Glenn Hodnett, Ian Hamilton and Victor Fitzpatrick. You guys are simply amazing. The support you give me on Patreon is basically covering my cost of what my editing software costs at the moment. Obviously I've got other costs that I do incur, which I'm more than happy to pay out my own pocket to help further the whole EV revolution. But you guys basically stop me from blowing all my hard-earned cash on stuff that, you know, is a regular cost for my editing software, and you cover that, guys, from the Patreon support that you give me. If you'd like to be one of these amazing people and support me on Patreon, there is a Patreon link down here on the right. If you don't, click the subscribe button here, and please check out my other videos here. Thank you very much to everyone for watching this week's video. Hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.